Obviously not a hat guy. Well, good morning and welcome, everyone. It's truly an honor to be standing here with the opportunity to address Convocation. Knowing firsthand the importance of Convocation, I did seek some guidance on how to approach today's comments, and the best advice by far came from my daughters, who said, "Dad, please don't try to be funny or smart. Just be yourself." So here I go. Western is at the foundation of much of my professional and personal life, and I'm truly grateful to have had the opportunity to spend 5 years at this great institution, and many more since then with friends and faculty from Western. I hope you also know it's an honor to be sitting where you are. The fact that you are here means you have acquired an advantage. You have established yourself with the privilege of a degree from a great university. Today, I'd like to ask you to consider what you might do with that advantage and the responsibility that comes with that privilege. The question I would like you to ask yourself is, what makes a successful life? Or, perhaps more directly, how will you measure your success? The answer to that question, if asked properly and thoughtfully, can determine your path and help steer you on the right course. And I believe allow you to achieve the ultimate success, and that is to live your life, the life you are meant to live. To begin, I'm going to let you in on a secret. People who are successful at school, or for that matter, in their careers, are not assured success in their life. We, and by that I mean society, spend many years encouraging you to measure your life in grades and awards, and soon in salaries and bonuses and promotions. But we don't teach you to measure your life in moments. Moments of quiet happiness, in the accomplishment of others, or in the number of obstacles or challenges you are able to overcome. You've spent most of your young lives learning and being rewarded for the idea that there's a right answer, a best answer, a truth that will guide you. And now, here you are, about to be unleashed into the world, and the fact is, there isn't a right answer. There isn't one truth. There are many paths, and you won't necessarily know if you're on the right one until you get out there and try and are prepared to fail. This is how real life works. The good news is that you've been given a great education, and a great education comes with one very important piece of information. From time to time, you might be wrong. That notion, which sounds so simple, is actually profound and is the basis of wisdom. I might be wrong. This statement alone will make you smarter, wiser, and I assure you, also happier. To cope with the challenges ahead of you, I urge you towards flexibility, towards an essential open-mindedness, and towards an awareness that there is always something you don't know, something you can't control, and something you can't change. Use your doubt and uncertainty to both keep you humble and to fuel your ambition. Use your flexibility and open-mindedness to put yourself on a track where good things can happen. To support this flexibility and to help you measure your own success, there are 4 things I want to stress here today. Call it a framework for your future. First, you need to trust yourself and you need to doubt yourself. That may seem like a contradiction, but of course it's not. The most successful people you will ever meet trust who they are and what they believe, and yet are constantly questioning themselves. Are they right? Are their strongly held views correct? Are there choices they just don't see? A willingness to question a closely held belief has shaped the evolution of human knowledge for centuries. If you firmly believe something, I would urge you to be willing to question it. That's how knowledge evolves. It's how new ideas are permitted the air they need to breathe. It's how life changes. Second, make sure your plans don't get in the way of what you really want. You are on a path, and it's a good one, or you wouldn't be sitting here today. But those plans shouldn't obscure what you actually think and feel about what you're doing. It's one thing to pursue your goal, get a university degree, become a scientist, start your own venture. Whatever it is, I encourage you to follow it. But don't forget to check in along the way on what really matters. Don't pursue a goal for the wrong reasons. And that may mean something very different to each and every one of you. But make sure you know what your motivation is, what you want, and why you want it. And remember, that may change, but don't forget to check in. I can tell you that in my life, not having a rigid plan has led to my best successes. Being open-minded to what might happen next, rather than trying to control it, has resulted in some of the most interesting twists and turns. In fact, I could not have imagined, when I was sitting where you are today, my life or the world as it has unfolded. Third, resilience is mandatory. Letting yourself go with the flow does not mean letting yourself give up or retreat when you hit hard moments. There is going to be chaos. You are going to experience loss, sadness, and catastrophe, at least in your eyes. You're going to feel at times that you have absolutely no control and that everything around you is in a state of upheaval. How you respond in these moments will make all the difference in how your life unfolds. There is a truism that human beings were not simply created for happiness, but for a deeper meaning. And that deeper meaning has more to do with developing character in the face of suffering or change than mere happiness. And hand in hand with resilience is hard work. The two are intertwined. There are no shortcuts. It has been said that opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so most people don't recognize them. Be one of the ones that recognize opportunity. And lastly, be a learner and a listener. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. In this life, you will have things taken from you. But that knowledge that you compile throughout the course of your journey is yours and yours alone. I am a huge hoarder of knowledge and proud of it. Some of the world's most successful people spend a significant part of their day learning. Learning is essentially about feeding your natural curiosity. And feeding your curiosity feels good because it's how our brains work. And remember, that curiosity also contains humility. The fact that you don't have all the answers will give you your perspective and your confidence about who you are and what you think. You're going to cross paths with some people in your life, some wise people, people who know more than you do, have more experience than you, have greater insights. Truly listening to what they have to say will be pivotal to your growth. You don't necessarily have to agree with them. I have disagreed with plenty of people I've respected. But listening, taking others' opinions and ideas into consideration, allowing them to interact with your own, this is the foundation of thoughtfulness. As Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that created them. Your life won't unfold as you expect, but let me assure you that the detours are the very best parts. So don't worry too much about how your path zigs and zags. But I do urge you to understand the difference between simply living for today and laying the foundation for a successful life. One of the most surprising things about people who aspire to have successful careers is that while they often think of their working lives thoughtfully and with a long view, they all too often take a short-term approach when it comes to their personal happiness. In other words, all the theory they apply to their careers is ignored when it comes to their personal choices. Focusing on the long term allows you to accept setbacks and sacrifices along the way, which allows you to keep the important elements of life in mind. What will you do with your time? Where will you spend it? And perhaps most importantly, whom will you spend it with? Be thoughtful when it comes to these choices. Today is a day of accomplishment for all of you. It's a milestone. So congratulate yourselves and accept with gratitude the congratulations to the people who helped you get here. And then start your new journey. Don't figure everything out. Don't hope to get comfortable. There are no answers that anyone can give you, only your answers. There is no one path to follow, only your path. There is no wisdom from others that is perfectly right for you, just the knowledge you will each gather as you grow and make a life which will become your life. As I said earlier, the fact that you're sitting here today means you have been given an advantage. So you also have a responsibility. And as I hope you'll come to know, the things you feel responsible for will be the things you value the most. And they will also be the things that reflect the most important parts of you back to you. If it feels like a burden, chances are it's worthwhile. How you act in everyday life will be a key to thriving in that life. Stay engaged. Look up and look around, and observe and retain what you see. The world is waiting for you, and it's an amazing place. And the good news is we can all participate. And remember, if it's worth a damn, it might be hard. But the best things in life are hard. They're hard to get, they're hard to grow, they're hard to keep. Pay attention to the hard things. That's where your life will happen. And I hope for each and every one of you, it's where you will live and find your success. Thank you very much for the honor of speaking to you this morning.